Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 60 of My Yarny Corner. My name's Alex and I live in Yorkshire in the UK, and this is a podcast all about knitting and crochet. So welcome, everybody. How have we all been? Have we all been okay? Today is actually, I think it's the 27th of August. It's Monday. I've got a hair on my face somewhere. Just one second. You know when you can feel a hair tickling you somewhere? Monday the 27th of August, I think. 28th. I think it might be the 28th of August. I will leave anything that I talk about in the video. There will be description links below the video. And yeah, we've got a fair bit to talk about today. Wow, we really have got a fair bit to talk about. So I want to talk about the make-along that starts on Friday. So I'm going to mention that first. So my friend Sue and Sue is Crafting It a 7 on Instagram, and she has the Distant Stitches podcast, which I will link below with her friend Liz. Oh my word, she just brought a new episode out, so it's just been brilliant. But we've decided to hold a make-along together. It's a Halloween make-along. I mentioned it last time, but it starts Friday, so I'm going to mention it again. It is I think it's the hashtag Spooky Feet Mal. I'll pop it on the screen. You can enter on Instagram, Facebook, email, Ravelry. And the only rules of the make-along is you have to knit socks and they have to have a Halloween theme. However that speaks to you, be it colours or a pattern name or anything that's got a spooky link. You do not have to finish at all. It's just about taking part. As always, with all of my make-alongs, it's only the taking part. And yeah, so that starts on Friday, the 1st of September. I'm very excited. And it runs until the 31st of October. I nearly said August then. It runs to the 31st of October. So I am super, super excited for this one. I cannot wait. I don't think I've got some Halloween socks now to show you, but that is the only reason I've knit them is because I wanted to show you how you can use mini skeins or scraps or whatever you want to make some spooky themed socks. You don't have to go out and buy yarn or a pattern. There are other ways that you can do it, and that's just what I wanted to show, which is why I've made the socks that I'm going to show you. But there will be prizes. I think Sue's donating some bags. We'll obviously donate yarn. There'll probably be a pattern prize as well. So it starts on Friday. I hope that you can join us. So that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is Friday is also our shop update day. Yay! I'm very excited about this one. I'm going to show all of the shop update things right at the end of the video. So if you don't want to stick around for that, that's absolutely fine. We had the live dye last week, which was amazing. It was so much fun. So I've got all the live dye yarn to show you as well, which again will be with all the shop update at the end of the video. And there was one more thing that I needed to mention. What was that? I had 3 things. I have no idea what the third thing was. I have no idea. It'll probably come to me as we get on with the video. The make-along. Oh! September vlogs. I knew there was something else. So we are also vlogging for September. So that starts on Friday as well. So there's a lot starting on Friday. So be around for Friday, everybody. The way that I've started to do the vlogs is to only vlog during the week. It's much easier for me because vlogging on that weekend is really, really hard. Although there are going to be exceptions during September vlogs. Obviously, the first weekend I'm going to vlog because they don't start till Friday. So I can hardly start vlogging on Friday then have a weekend off. So I'm going to vlog Friday and then the weekend as well this week. And Yarndale is also in September, so there will be a vlog on the Yarndale, the Sunday we're going. I can't remember the date off the top of my head. Is it the 24th or something like that? It's the Sunday. So there will be a vlog on that day as well. But as I've started doing with vlogs, I'm not going to be vlogging usually over the weekend, just because it gives me a little bit of a break to catch up and re-centre myself. I love vlogging, I really, really do. It's one of my favourite things to do, but it's hard work. It's a lot of work. especially when I still want to keep the podcast going, which I will be able to film on Sundays if I'm not vlogging on a weekend. And it just gives me a chance just to take a bit of a breath and catch up, because we don't do over much on a weekend anyway. We're so busy through the week with everything for the shop that when a weekend comes, we try to have, you know, just relaxation time. So there's not a great deal to see on a weekend. And yeah, so I do still want to take, where I can this month, it's not going to be as easy, but where I can, just take the weekends off, except the first weekend, because that would be pointless. So September vlogs start on Friday as well, so I really hope you can join us for that. We do have a lot of fun. It's always fun to talk to you each day. I think that's one of my favourite things, is chatting to you all every day. You leave me such lovely comments and it's nice to chat back. And I do get that from the podcast as well. I get some amazing comments on the podcast, but I think when you're vlogging and you're chatting to people every day, you really feel like you're making connections. So yeah, do join us if you can. That'd be absolutely fantastic. And I think that is all the admin things to talk about, I think. Let me just grab a cup of coffee and try not to rush my way through this. So I've got 3 finished objects and 2 works in progress. I've done really, really well this past 2 weeks. So, shall we get into finished objects? The first one that I want to talk about is my Zarya shawl. I had a little bit of a blip with it. I'm not going to lie. It's not as it should be, because I ran out of black yarn. But this is it. It's absolutely beautiful. I've not blocked it yet, but as you can see, whoops a daisy, I ran out of black yarn here. So these sections, this is a pattern by Amber O'Brien. It's made for 4-ply weight yarn, fingering weight yarn, and you need 100 grams of each colour. Now that's the bit I should have paid attention to. I only had, I think, 80 grams of the black, and I thought, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be absolutely fine. It wasn't. I did need the 100 grams. So do make sure you're paying attention to the yardage on the pattern. But it's a gorgeous, gorgeous pattern. You can get this version in 4-ply and DK weight. Ellie at Craft House Magic has made one in DK weight, and it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. It's like a pink and turquoisey colour. It's beautiful. And when I got this pattern, I also got the DK weight version. I don't know if that's something that comes as standard or it was just a promotion. I'm not sure, but I did get both versions when I bought this one. In fact, I didn't even buy this one. I'm totally lying. This was a gift from one of the lovely, lovely subscribers during the last vlogs. So I didn't even buy it. It was a gift and I was so pleased. So the black yarn is a Cascade Heritage, and I think it's the colour Night. And this one is a My Yarny Corner yarn. I can't remember the colourway because I've been calling it Tooth Fairy yarn all the way through. So during the last vlogs, if any of you watched them, I did have to have a tooth out during those vlogs, and I got some yarn from my friend Sue, which was called my Tooth Fairy yarn, and this was it. I think it might have been called Sunset or something. I'm so used to calling it the Tooth Fairy yarn, I've no idea. So my friend Sue did give me this yarn, and they just look amazing together. Now, this is the point where I ran out of black. So you start right the way down here, and you increase and increase and increase, and then you start decreasing again. So I ran out of black here. I tried to see if I could get another black section in, but I had 15 grams of yarn left, and I didn't think I'd be able to do it. So by this point, I was really concerned if I carried on all the way along the shawl that it was going to look really weird with a huge orange section. So I cut it short, which is fine for me. I'm not bothered. I still love it. And it's actually more wearable for me, because had it been so long, and I've got my Supernova shawl where I've got to wrap it round a few times, and I love it, and it's perfect for cosy days. This is going to be better for chilly days, but not freezing days. So I can still wrap it round how I want it, but it's not huge, so it just sits around my neck like that. And I really, really like it. It's perfect. It's not too wide, so it'll just sit around my neck when I've got my leather jacket on or my denim jacket, and just be a little bit of extra warmth. It's so soft. It is so soft. I mean, I haven't blocked it yet, so it's going to grow, but I really do like the length of it. How long is it? It's just over my wingspan, so it's still quite long. But not as long as it should have been in the pattern. But I actually much prefer this length, to be totally honest. I think the DK weight is more this length. I could be totally wrong there, but I don't think the DK weight is as long as the fingering weight version. But yeah, it's absolutely perfect for me, and I am so pleased it's finished. Just look at that. So it really, I kind of stalled on it a little bit. Nothing to do with the pattern. I did not enjoy doing the black sections. The Cascade Heritage yarn is quite a slippy yarn if you're using metal needles. I use the Chowgoos. And because there wasn't a lot of stitches on, the stitches were slipping so much on the needles. It would have been better if I was using wood needles. So on this black section, I didn't enjoy it so much. Once I got to the orange section, I was absolutely fine. So it just made me stall on it a little bit, because every time I got near the black section I thought, oh, I've got to do that section again. And like I say, it was nothing to do with the pattern. It's a really fun pattern. It was purely and simply the yarn I was using on the needles I was using. Nothing to do with Cascade Heritage yarn. I absolutely love it. I've used it so many times. Never normally have a problem at all. I think it was just there were so few stitches on metal needles that it was just slipping a little bit. So I kind of stalled a little bit on it, and I was saying to my friend Sue, oh, I'm really stalling, I really want it for the autumn. That's why I wanted it for the autumn, so I could wear it with my little denim jacket and, you know, as I've said. And she goes, just break it down and get it finished. And I said, I'm struggling to finish it, but I so wanted to finish it by the end of August, which I have just managed. So Sue did give me an incentive. I had also seen the new woolly waffle sweater pattern by fabulous Mr. West. And Sue said, if you finish your shawl by the end of August, I will gift you that pattern. Well, that was just all the incentive I needed, wasn't it? And I knitted away and got it finished. So, and Sue was very true to her word, and she did gift me the woolly waffle pattern, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But yeah, isn't it beautiful? I just love it. Absolutely love it. It's such this detail here. Look at that. And as you go from black to orange, can you see orange is the more prominent colour in the slip stitch? When you go from orange to black, it switches, so black's the more prominent colour. She's so clever as Amber O'Brien. Can you see the difference in those two slip stitch sections? And this slip stitch section was a lot of fun. I had a little bit of trouble when I first cast on the pattern. You've got these central double decrease, which you can probably see on the orange section. Here you can see them there. So you've got the central double decrease, and me not reading the pattern properly, which seems to be a recurring theme this month. You'll see as I go on through the video. I didn't read the pattern properly and was convinced for some reason, even though it's very clear in the pattern that that's not the case. It's very, very clear in the way that Amber's written the stitch counts at the end of each row. It's very clear that this slip stitch section does not stay central. And when I was here, I was keeping it central. I kept thinking I'd made a mistake, and I kept adding and minusing stitches to keep it central. And I think I'd got to this point. This is probably how I ran out of yarn, because I don't think I kept the yarn after this first bit that I did. I think I just cut it and started again. That's probably how I did it. Anyway, so I realised my mistake when I got about here the first time and had to start again. So yeah, when you start, just be aware that, well, you probably will be aware because you're not like me and not reading the patterns properly. It's very clear in the pattern that the slip stitch section stays off centre, so you have a set amount of stitches in this, in one part of it, and you see how it There you go, you can see now. This is the central double decrease section here. It's such a lovely pattern, it really is. I'm also going to make the DK weight version. So that is finished object number 1, and I am super, super pleased with it. And I also have some socks. So I mentioned earlier in the video that I had some mini skein socks. So these are the first Halloween. I'm not eligible for prizes, so I could have started early. It's absolutely fine. These are the first Halloween socks. The reason I started these before the make along was I wanted to show you could make scrappy socks and still make them Halloween. So if you've got any scraps, as long as you've got a dark colour and a bright colour, it doesn't really matter the other colours that you put with it. So these are made out of mini skeins. There are some of these going into the shop. I think there are 3 sets of this colourway, which are here. None of them have got bands on yet. But I made these out of mini skeins. So for these, I have done 64 stitches and I've done 8 rounds per stripe. So I've got 3 colours of the 3 stripes of the same colour in each sock. Now I've got a fair bit of yarn left. Let me show you. So the black was the one that I used most of, and there's about 5 grams of this left, but I have done 3 stripes of black and a heel on both socks. They're both exactly the same, they completely match on both socks, and that's used about 15 grams of the 20 gram mini skein. The most I have got left is the blue, which I think was 9 grams or 8 grams left. And that has just done 3 stripes on both socks. So you really can, you know, use scraps. The pink, I believe, was 7 grams. I don't know how I'm remembering this. I really don't. And it must have been just under them. I don't know why I used more of the pink, but I did. Let me, oops, a daisy. Let me just weigh them just to be sure, because let's be sure on the weights. So the blue, I've got 11 grams left, so I used 9. The pink, I've got 11 grams left. I was completely wrong. The black is exactly 5 grams, so I used 15 grams. The purple, I've got 9 grams left. And the green, I've got 8 grams left. So the purple did 2 stripes and a toe. And the green did 2 stripes and the ribbon, but I did 15 rounds of ribbon. But I also did a plain knit round, so you didn't get that showing from the colour below onto the pearl bumps. Do you know what I mean? If you join a new yarn in and you've join it straight onto the knit round, you can see the colour change on the pearl bumps. So I do a plain knit round so that doesn't happen. So there is more, there's still 2 stripes of the green, but then there's a total of 16 rounds here rather than just the 8. The reason that I do 8 rounds per stripe is purely and simply so my sock foot matches, because I do 56 rounds, between 54 and 56, depends how I'm feeling. But I did 56 rounds for my foot, so 56 divides by 8, really easy. So all the stripes were the perfect size. That's why I've chosen to do 8 rounds. So if you're making scrappy socks, you could do the same thing. If you do 60 rounds for your leg, for your foot, you could do 10 round stripes, or, you know, any way to make it match so you get perfect stripes. And yeah, that's all I've done. So you can totally, for the make along, either use mini skeins or stash dive or whatever you want to do. But I'm really, really pleased with these. I really like them. They're not for me. They're going into my charity box. I've kept them to show you, but they're going into my charity box, which hopefully I'm delivering next week. Hopefully. But yeah, aren't they gorgeous? That is finished object number 1. They've also got the shadow wrap heeling, which I should have said, and a wedge toe. Now, I do have some more socks to show you, but I can't put them on blockers because I've wrapped them up. Now, there's a little bit of a story to these. So I talk about the Facebook group all the time. It's a lovely place to be. Come and join if you've not joined. And I was on the Facebook group the other day, and I'm not going to give names out. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. So I'm just going to say one of our fabulous members shared some socks that she was making for her friend. And she had this most beautiful label on them. The socks were amazing, absolutely amazing. But she had this really cool label on, and it looked so effective. And I said, I love the socks, but I really like that label. So she said, oh, she just downloaded it on Google. I had a little look and I couldn't find it. Since this has happened, she has shared the label that she downloaded into the Facebook group, which is fantastic. But during that time that I didn't know how to get it, little Miss Alex decided, okay, I can make one of these. So my next pair of socks, I'm going to pop a picture on the screen. I finished these last week, early last week, I think. They're also going into my charity box as well. But I did want one of these little labels on them. So I did design one. Oops. There we go. It just says handmade with love on the front, and then on the back there are care instructions, hand wash, lay flat to dry, and I've just put ladies size 6 on the back. So they just look a little bit more presentable when they're going into my box, so people know what they're getting. So I did, like I say, do one of these labels. If you would like them, I have uploaded it to the website. It's free to download. You can go onto the website, you can download this label. It'll print on an A4 sheet of paper. You do need to make sure you're printing it landscape. If you print it portrait, it's not, the size is going to be wrong because it's designed to be printed landscape, so you get a nice long label to wrap around. And you do need, well, for best results really, you need to print it onto some cardstock because it just makes it that little bit more firm than paper. But yeah, so it's free on the website if you want to download some handmade labels. It's free on the website if you want the specific sock ones that my friend in the Facebook group has shared. I can't remember, I can't even show you a picture. But yeah, it's a specific sock one, which is really nice. So that's in the Facebook group as well. She shared the link to download that. So yeah, I think because Christmas is coming up, it's nice to just have stuff like this, just to make the knits a little bit more nice looking. So these socks, these are scrappy socks. Wow, that was a mouthful again. So I just used scraps of yarn that I had lying around. I had a 20 gram mini of the green. I'll pop the picture back on the screen. And I worked out I could get 40 rounds per about 8 grams. I didn't want to push it in case I ran out. So I did 40 rounds of the green. The same for the pink. That was also a 20 gram mini. So I did 40 rounds for the pink. And then I had some scraps of this colour lying around. So I added in that as well. So they're a really nice scrappy sock. So I'm really pleased with those. And then I just used a black My Yarny Corner yarn. It's not a yarn that's been in the shop. It's one that I dyed for myself. I think it was actually an over dye. So it's not been in the shop, but it's a really nice colour. A really nice black. It's got hints of other colours underneath because it was an over dye. But yeah. So that's it for finished objects. That's everything. So I do have 2 whips that I've been working on this week. I think I've only got 3 whips in total, which is the Sunday morning shawl. I haven't worked on that this fortnight, so I'm not going to show you that. So I have been working on the Coziest Memory Blanket. Who's it by now? Is it Kemper Ray? I'll pop it on the screen. So I showed this last time. I'm doing it DK weight version, so my squares are a lot bigger. I'm using more of the scraps than the 5 gram mini that the pattern calls for. I'm using about 15 grams in total, sort of 7 to 8 grams of each colour. So I'm holding yarn double, but this is it. It's making progress. I am not doing any colour management whatsoever. I'm just grabbing a colour and throwing it in. I didn't do any of the squares yesterday or Saturday, and so I'm technically a square behind because I was a square ahead. I wanted to do a square each day, but a new cast on has put paid to that, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I thought if I do a square a day, this blanket should be finished by at least November at the latest. I'm only going to be doing 80 squares. So I've got 8 squares across, which is fairly big. So that's going to be the width. And then I'm going to go 10 squares down. And then I don't know what border I'm going to put on it yet. I really want a chunky ribbed border. One of the ladies in the knit group makes... the knit group that I go to, the in-person knit group, she makes the most beautiful, beautiful blankets. She really does. And she knits squares and then she sews them together, and they are out of this world. She doesn't do them all different colours. They're all like different shades of red or different shades of blue. But she does the most amazing border on them as well. So I was speaking to her, not last week, the week before, and I said, how do you do your border? So she talked me through how to do the border. I can't explain it to you because I'm not 100% certain myself until I come to the point that I do it. But I really liked it. It's a really chunky ribbed border that just gives such a nice effect. I know I could do an I-cord border on this, but I do want a chunky, chunky border. So I'll probably do that. I'll speak to the lady at Knit Group and get her to show me how she does her borders. But yeah, I really, really like it. It's totally out there on colours. It's not cohesive at all. It's the ultimate scrappy blanket and I love it. Absolutely love it. So I'm just trying to keep up with my square a day. Not always managing it, but as long as I manage it most days, and some days I might do 2 and just catch myself back up. Because I don't want it sat around on the needles forever. I want to get it finished, so I've got it for the winter because it's all garter. It is so, so squishy. But I will now talk to you about the project that put me out of doing the square a day. Oh my word, it is amazing. So I mentioned earlier in the video that my friend Sue had said if I finished my Zarya cardigan, she would gift me the new Stephen West woolly waffle sweater. And she did. And oh my word, I just love it. I'll pop a picture on the screen. So let me just grab it. Oh, Danny, could you pass me a ball of yarn out of that bag? A red one. Thank you. So I'm using Women's Institute. And it's the colourway Plum, and it's just a DK 100% acrylic. I really liked the colour. It's a really nice, deep winter type colour. And Women's Institute acrylic yarn is amazing. It's very soft. It washes amazing. I've never had a problem with it. So I didn't have any DK weight yarn, hand-dyed yarn to use. And I'm thinking it's going to be a heavy sweater, so I wanted to do it in acrylic, and I'm so pleased with the colour that I've chosen. So this is, where are we? So far, sweater. Look at that. Let me see if I can straighten that up a bit. There we go. Look at that stitch detail. Isn't it amazing? It's a lot of fun to do. Now, I had a major problem on cast on night. So Sue had bought me the pattern, I think it was Wednesday night when I finished my Zarya shawl. And I planned to go and get the yarn and everything. I got all the yarn. So I planned to sit and cast on Friday night. I had a whole night planned. I was going to cast on. I was going to sit and watch Netflix all night. And it was just going to be amazing. So I did go up a needle size to the needle size that Stephen stated in the pattern, which I usually have to do anyway. So I had to go up a needle size, that's fine. Started the pattern, got past the rib, no problem. In fact, I got past the rib before I did tea. So once I got tea out of the way and all the kids sorted, I could sit and just work on this all night. That was the plan. The plan did not go as it should have done. So after the ribbing, you do I think it was the neck shaping section, and you had to, I can't remember what the thing was, but you had to move stitches around. And once you'd done this bit, you should have been at this point before a marker. So I moved the stitches and I'm like, but I'm not at that point before a marker. So you've got your raglan markers in here all the way around. And I wasn't at the right point. So I thought, what am I doing wrong here? So I checked all my stitch count and it was completely right. I had the right number of stitches on, but when I slipped these stitches, I think I should have been before the marker and I was over here somewhere. So I'm thinking, what am I doing wrong? So I read through the pattern and I'm doing it all right. I've got the correct number of stitches. I'm looking at the right size, and when you slip these stitches, you still pass this marker where I shouldn't have been. So I was getting really frustrated. So I made Danny sit and look at it, and Danny's saying, Alex, I don't know what I'm doing because I can't read patterns. And I'm like, just help me work this math out. So I was going to the other sizes in the pattern as if I was doing them and working it all out. And I was at the same point. Once you slip these stitches, then you're so far ahead of the marker. So I was getting really frustrated. So Danny couldn't really help. So I messaged my friend Sue and I said, look, what do I do? So she said, I can't work it out either. So I'm explaining what I've done, and she said, I don't know. She goes, let me get my friend Liz involved. Now, Liz is Sue's friend. They both do the podcast together. They have the Distant Stitches podcast and they do it together. So she opened up a group chat and got Liz involved. By this point, it's probably been going on for an hour. I've got really stressed out. It's nearly 7 o'clock at night. I've not started my pattern. I wanted my whole night, had it all planned. And I was getting really stressed out, and Liz was trying to help me, and she said, I think she was at work. And she goes, I'll see what I can do. But poor woman, I'm pretty certain she was either out or she was at work, and I'm hounding, help me, somebody, I just want this sorted. I knew it was probably something I was doing. So all this drama had gone on, and I was getting really stressed out. And that's the point that I realised I shouldn't have slipped the stitches from the left needle to from the right needle to the left. No, I shouldn't have. I slipped the stitches the wrong way around. So I'd slipped the stitches from the left needle to the right needle, and I should have slipped them from the right needle to the left needle. I totally misread that section of the pattern, and I just went, oh, I see where I've gone wrong now. So I had to apologise profusely for interrupting Sue's night, interrupting Liz's night, interrupting Danny's plans for that night, hold my head in shame because yet again I did not read the pattern properly, but I got there in the end. So if you do get this pattern, there is a section in it where it says slip stitches from right needle to left needle. Don't do an Alex and slip them the other way around. But other than that, the pattern has been, it wasn't even the pattern, that was clearly me. It clearly said in the pattern, slip stitches from right needle to left needle. It was very clear. I just missed it. So other than that little drama, isn't it beautiful? That's the arm bit. That's it. There we go. That's better. It's just gorgeous. So I'm just at the point now, I'm finishing the yoke shaping, and then I've got a few more rounds and I'm going to split 4 sleeves. I am very excited. There's different lengths on the, let me just let the cat in. She's scratching the window. Sorry about that. There are different lengths on the Ravelry listing to show you different lengths. There's the length, it's the pink one. It's probably the picture that I've put up, and it's a cropped version and it looks beautiful. So I don't know whether I'm going to do it cropped or not. I'm going to see once I get past all the sleeves and I can start trying it on. I'm going to have a look and see if I want it cropped. I might even do the sleeves first before I finish the body. No, probably. I don't like doing that because you can try it on easier when you're doing the sleeves. If the body's finished, you can keep trying it on and getting your sleeve length just right. But yeah. Anyway, I'm waffling. It's gorgeous. I just love that texture. It's really, really easy to do. It's not a difficult pattern at all. As long as you can read patterns properly, not like me, and totally, utterly misread it. But yeah, it's just gorgeous. I love it. I didn't print the pattern out for this. I've started using Knit Companion, which has just been a game changer. It really has been a game changer. I've always printed my patterns out. I've got huge binders down here with all my patterns in. And I had the Knit Companion app, but I've never really used it. I've always been, oh, I want my pattern printed out. And I can't remember, was it for the... I think it was for the Zayra Shawl that I started using the Knit Companion, because you needed to keep track of rows that you were on and how many repeats that you'd done. So I was using a pen and the dog kept chewing the pen. So I ended up using Knit Companion, and it is so, so good. It's really easy to use. You've got a highlighted bar that you move down over the pattern, and then you've got like 5 different row counters down the side, so you can keep track of the row that you're on, any repeats that you're doing, and it's just brilliant. The best thing I like about it is it's not easy to move the yellow bar. You've got to hold it to move it, so it can't accidentally move out of the way. And the row counters are the same. You can't just knock it. It also makes a sound when you press it, so you know it's not some... I think that's the reason I've not used it before. I thought if I knock my iPad over, it's going to knock everything and it's going to change my row count. It doesn't at all. It's a really, really good app. And you can have multiple projects on there at the same time. So if you close the project down and you go into a different one, when you open that project again, it takes you back exactly where you were. If you haven't used Knit Companion, I would recommend it. I don't know if it's free. I'm not sure, because I've had it for so long that I can't remember. I've just never used it. So you go on there, you click Ravelry, you download something from your Ravelry library, and then you'd open the PDF and start project. It's really user friendly. Now there is a section in it that I haven't done, where you can update or buy an extension of it, upgrade, I don't know what it's called, so you can write on the pattern as well. I think it's called Scribble Notes. I found that quite pricey. I think it was like $23.99, so I didn't do that. So I don't know if there's a way that you can write on your pattern without that, but I've not needed to. It's been really, really good. So if you've not used Knit Companion, I would recommend it. It's made my life so much easier. Anyway, that's it. So because of this pattern, let's go back to the pattern. I have not wanted to work on anything else since Friday. I've absolutely loved it. I thought it would have been much more complicated than it was. As you can see, it's the waffle stitch. And I thought this section where you're increasing would have been much more complicated than it is, but it isn't at all. Obviously you can read your knitting on this quite clearly. It's DK weight yarn, so it's easy to see, and it's easy to see where you are in the knitting. So it's not been a complicated pattern at all, and I just love it. It does in the pattern have a folded rim. Now the pictures in the pattern show the ribbing for the neckline quite close to the neckline. I don't like that. I really don't like that. So Stephen said in the pattern, if you want a looser neckline, only do 1 inch of ribbing. So that's what I've done. I've only done 1 inch of ribbing. I don't know how well this works. I've never sort of done this before, but I only did 1 inch of ribbing for a looser neckline, and I've not done a fold over one. So I'm hoping, as you can see, there's plenty of room there. It's not close to my neck. I'm hoping that's going to be okay. I just didn't want it tight to my neck. It would have annoyed me. So it does state in the pattern what you can do to avoid that as well. And yeah, it's just brilliant. I love it. And that is it for all my works in progress. That's everything. So, well, first of all, there's not much life update to talk about at the moment because nothing's really happened. I've been working really hard for the shop update on Friday. Danny's been working really hard. We've been busy with advents over the past few weeks. That is something I do need to talk to you about. Excuse me. So, The Advents go on sale. This will be month 7 on Friday on the website, along with the update. Please, 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 could you let me know if you haven't done already? I know lots of you have let me know already via Instagram, which is fantastic, and I really appreciate that. But could you let me know if you will be purchasing the main skein? Just because I need to order those this month and get them dyed. The last listing goes up on the 1st of November, and that's for the main skein only. The last listing for the Advent is the 1st of October. So we've got month 7 on the 1st of September, and then month 8, which is the last Advent listing, on the 1st of October. Now, the main skein goes on sale on the 1st of November. I'd like those dyed long before that happens, just so they're all ready to ship. I'll be shipping the week of the 6th of November. The international ones will go out quicker. In hindsight, I should have said that I was adding that main skein listing to month 8 to make it easier for myself, but I've already advertised it as adding it on the 1st of November, so I don't want to change that now. I just need the numbers. So please, if you are ordering your Advent this time, could you just put message to seller? There'll be a little box where you can leave me a message with your order and just tell me whether or not you were purchasing the main skein, just so I can get the yarn ordered for you, and then it's all ready to go. Once that listing's gone up in November, I'll be shipping shortly after that. I don't want to be dyeing the main skeins early November. So yeah, if you could just let me know if you're purchasing the main skein. And they will all be shipped out soon, so I'm getting very, very excited about that. Very excited. And we've got some shop update stuff to show you. So we have the live dye yarn. I'm going to show you, we've got some mini skein sets going in first, so I'm going to show you those because I've already sort of shown them. So we've got the Halloween mini skein sets. These are 5 20-gram minis, so you've got 100 grams of yarn. They're £16, just like our standard 100 grams of yarn. And there've no labels on them yet. Nothing's got a label on yet. We've not got to that point in the working week where we've done labels yet. But yeah, so there are, how many of these, Danny? 3 of these, I think. And they are just gorgeous. So they're the Halloween mini sets. And then Danny has dyed just some other colours, which is called Danny's Surprise mini sets. They're not a surprise because you can see them, and there are 4 of these, and these are just some different colours. If you're wanting to keep mini skein sets to one side, or you're wanting to make a pair of socks, they would make an amazing pair of socks. So there are 4 of those as well. So there's the Halloween set and Danny's Surprise set as well. So there are 4 of those and 3 of those. The reason there are only 3 of those is because Alex had one. You've seen my socks. There were 4 of each. So that is that. Let's show you the live dye yarn first. Let me just move them over there. Now, these have got names, but the names are in my phone, so I can't tell you what the names are. Have you got the names on your phone? Danny's got them. 1 second. Right, Danny is just bringing the names up. I never thought that I record on my phone and I can't actually access the pictures while I'm recording. Pass me your phone, I'll do it.
Some of them.
Right, yeah, got it. So this one is Lazy Days. This is a live dye yarn, and it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Look at the speckles there. So we've got that one. We also have 2 of these, and this is called Marina. Like I say, none of them have got belly bands yet because we just haven't got to that point in the working week, but aren't they gorgeous? Look at those, beautiful. That's Marina. End of Summer. Oh, I love this one. As you can imagine, you knew I would. on cue. The dog is snoring again. Hopefully the camera won't pick it up because she's all the way over there. That one is End of Summer. There are 2 of those. This is my favourite. This is Hocus Pocus. Oh, just look at that. You've got these like brown sections, purple. Oh, they're just amazing. That's Hocus Pocus. We have Peekaboo, which are bright pink and green, bright green as well. And they sort of fade into each other at the bottom. That's Peekaboo. We have One Spooky Kisses, which is, it's like a silver colour. It's not dark grey. It's like a grey silver colour with big mwah, lipstick kisses all over it. That's Spooky Kisses. That is giving me a right look there. This one is Danny's favourite. This is From Dusk Till Dawn. And it's like purples, golds, teals. It's really nice. Really, really nice. That is From Dusk Till Dawn. Another one of my favourites. This is Midnight at the Manor. Oh, just look at that. Look at that. Isn't it amazing? Absolutely amazing. And then we have Beauty and the Beast. It's gorgeous. It's got bits of yellow, bits of teal, bits of pink, bits of blue, bits of everything. And that's Beauty and the Beast. And then finally, this was a request that, you can have your phone back now, I've got all the names. I requested that Danny do this colourway, and look at this. So it's kind of like a browny creamy colour with deep, deep purple in it. It's really nice. I don't know if it's coming out brown or cream, but it's like a creamy brown colour. The colourway of this is actually walnut with a deep plum in it. It's absolutely beautiful, and that's Prom Night. So they're all the yarns going into the shop. Like I say, there's mini skein sets as well. Next month there will be more yarn. With the yarn updates have only been smaller, just because we've just been trying to keep on top of the advent, make sure we've got all the advent yarn. That's been the priority. And then ordering the rest of the yarn and making sure that we've got the time to dye it. So we've just kept them a little bit smaller during that period. We're still getting used to how advents work. This is our 2nd year of advent. And we're still learning what works best for us and how we're going to do things in future. We will be changing it next year, how we do it. After the 2nd year of doing it, we've realised what works and what doesn't. We don't want the advent to affect the rest of the updates. And it has a little bit this time, which is our fault. So we'll have to tweak it a little bit next year. But yeah, we're still learning. So the update next month on the 1st of October will be a bigger update, because we're not, all the advent should be done by that point, so we can concentrate 100% on the updates. It's just been a learning curve for us as well. But there are some bags. So I haven't done bags since earlier on this year. I don't do them every month. It's just sometimes I'll go through a stage where I want to make bags and sometimes I don't. There is one cross stitch bag. I don't know how popular these are going to be. The only reason there is one is because I needed one. So I made a cross stitch bag. So that opens like that, and then you can put your cross stitch in it. Will you pass me mine, sweetheart? And I can show. It's quite a decent size. This is mine one. It's exactly the same. And it's got all of my stuff in it there. So it's a really decent size. Thank you, darling. So there is one of these. Got a little handle on it, and the back is just plain. So there is one of those. There are going to be more. Sorry, did you want me to pass that to you? There's going to be more bags than this going to the shop. I'm still making bags for the update. But let's start. So we've got, these are all sock size bags. So your sock size bag I'll show you it first. This is flamingos. There's flamingos on each side, and the handle is actually the lining. And this one is it's like a crushed velvet. It's really nice on the bottom. Now, they are sock size bags, but they are pretty decent size for socks. So I'll show you. 1, can't do this on camera. 2, you can easily fit 3 skeins of yarn in there. There's 3 skeins of yarn in there, just to give you an idea on size. Quite easily fit, and they're in there lengthways as well. They're not in there stood up, they're in there lengthways. Sweetheart. 1, 2, 3. So they're still a decent size, even though the socks, they're not a small sock. So there is that one with the flamingos on. We have a bee bag, and the bee one's got a white handle and a white lining. There's a bee one. I've made a scrappy one for scrappy socks. So this is all scraps of fabric on both sides. They're all box bottoms. And the lining of this one is that one, which is really pretty. And the handle matches the lining. So that's a scrap one. We've got a ducky one, like the cross stitch bag. This has got a white lining, I believe. Yeah, white lining in that one. Did I just say ducky? I'm really sorry. This is a duck bag. I'm so sorry. There is another scrappy one that's slightly different to the first one. They are slightly different. And that's got this handle. And the lining of this one is plain red. And then we have Me to You Bear. And that's got this lining in it. Can you see that? So that's a Me to You Bear. There is another Me to You Bear, which is a lighter one. And the lining of this one is this. Isn't it gorgeous? Beautiful, isn't it? And then we have a Mickey Mouse. I love the lining in this one. It's like a vintage fabric. Isn't it gorgeous? That's Mickey Mouse. And then
my one.
My ultimate favourite. My ultimate favourite. Snoopy. This is the Snoopy Circus, so this has got a bright orange lining in it. Look at that one. Isn't it gorgeous? So, that's it for all of the update things as well. So thank you if you stayed around for the update information. And I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that came to the live last week. We had an absolute blast. Miss Polly was a bit of a pain, I'm not going to lie. She did cause a little bit of trouble during the live day. But other than that, it all went smoothly. And we had an absolute blast. It continues to amaze me, the colourways that you guys come up with. It really does. I said this during the live. When we're dyeing yarn, which Danny is doing for the most part now, which gives me a chance to focus on tutorials and bags and all that kind of stuff. But we tend to dye colours that we're drawn to. So when we do a live dye and we get other colours, you know, given to us, it just amazes me every time because they come out beautifully. We have never had a yarn on a live dye that has not turned out beautifully. Every single time it's gorgeous. And it just absolutely amazes me each and every time. So I just want to say a huge thank you to those of you that come along each month and support that, because it is just, not only is it a great experience for us, and the thing that I'm most pleased about regarding the live dye is that people have gone away and had a go themselves. The one that when Danny and I decided we were going to do the live dye, we had two options. It was either going to be very professional, this is how you dye yarn, or it was going to be live dye, Danny and Alex style. And Danny said, I can't go on there and be all, this is what we're doing and this is how much you need to do. He said, I want to be able to do it with fun, like we do with everything for my Yarny Corner. So that is the kind of way that we're doing it, you know, and it's just to show you all that it doesn't have to be stressful or hard or scary. Anybody can have a go, and it's supposed to be fun. And when we do the live dye with you all, that's what it is every single time. It's fun. So I just want to say a huge thank you to those of you that came along last week and joined us again. It was just amazing. It always is amazing. But yeah, we really do appreciate that support. We really do. So yeah, thank you for that. And I think that is everything. Like I say, I'll be back on Friday for September vlogs. Oh, the pattern. I wanted to have a quick chat about the pattern that's coming out. It's coming. Just keep your eye out on YouTube. I'll put it on YouTube, you know, like a community post thing. I'll put it on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. And if it's out during the September vlogs, I'll mention it on there. But yeah, it is coming. It's not forgotten about. It is coming. I'm just waiting on testers, which the testers have done an amazing job, I must just say, because I'm aware that not everybody likes the shadow wrap heel. It's not the standard heel, and I'm aware that not everybody likes it, and I ummed and ahed whether to put that heel in the pattern, but I thought, well, it's my pattern, it's what I do, so it wouldn't be me if I used a different heel. So I did go ahead and put the shadow wrap heel in. I know one of my testers had done it before, so she had an idea of how to do it. My other two testers didn't. They had never done it before. One of them had done the Fish Lips Kiss heel, so it's just a similar heel. It's similar, it's not the same. So one of them had done the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and the other person had only done heel flap and gusset. So I was asking a lot of my testers to not only test these socks, but use a heel that you've never used before. That was a lot to ask. And I must say, they've just been amazing, absolutely amazing. There are instructions in the pattern for the shadow wrap heel, but there is also, I don't know if a lot of you noticed, there was a shadow wrap tutorial that went out last week. I've done that for the pattern, so I can link that into, obviously it's not just for the pattern, anyone can look at the tutorial, but it will be linked into the tutorial as well. Now, if you can believe this, I was so shocked. One of my testers had never done the shadow wrap heel before, and she followed the instructions for the shadow wrap heel. She did not watch the YouTube tutorial. She prefers to read instructions rather than watch a video. So she, not only did she do the shadow wrap heel for the first time, she also only did it from written instructions, which I think just blew my mind. I went, what? So, and she did the most perfect shadow wrap heel. It was just amazing. So my testers, thank you so much. You are just amazing. Absolutely amazing. I cannot thank you enough for helping me out and testing this pattern. Anyway, all that was to say that the pattern is incoming. It's just, I don't know when yet. I think in the back of my head, I wanted it by the 1st of October. But I was so late getting the pattern out to the testers that I don't think that's possible. I'm just going to say, I asked a lot. You know, I asked for a quick turnaround. Here's the pattern, get on with it. And it was a lot to ask. So again, that's my learning curve. I'm learning. So yeah, I'll let you know when it's coming out. Wow, I've waffled. I've absolutely waffled. I am so sorry. So I'm going to let everybody go. Have a lovely, crafty 2 weeks. I will see you on Friday if you're coming back for the vlogs. I hope that you all take part in the sock along. It's just going to be absolutely amazing. And I'll either see you on Friday or I will see you for the next episode in 2 weeks. Bye, everybody.